Gunblade NY and LA Machineguns Arcade Hits Pack combines two arcade light gun shooters for at-home use on the Wii or Wii U. This combo is a perfect demonstration of why, despite a rather simplistic design, 90s light gun shooters like this ruled the arcades, but also struggled to stay relevant as time went on. Before covering the specific gameplay, I do want to note that for these games, Wii Motion Plus controllers were used alongside with the Nyko Perfect Shot accessories. I've recorded the game while playing and taking turns with my kids, so if there was an exorbitant amount of missed shots, then the blame goes to them and not my aging eyes or reflexes. The Wii controllers plus the Nykos aren't apples to apples for an actual light gun experience for you angry purists out there, but they're immersive enough for a lot of fun. You got the 2-for-1 deal here, but this combo makes sense because the games share such similar artistic styles and gameplay. Plus, both have very short completion times, and it would have been a tough sell as standalone titles. The games both feature flying protagonists, which lets you experience the action completely from the air with constant movement, which stands apart from other shooters that have you move, pause, move, pause, move, pause. You have to go into this embracing the arcade nature of the gameplay, as this is so far from any type of reality simulator. By the time you're done with each game, the roads, buildings, and vehicles in the games will have more holes than those pairs of underwear you've questionably held onto since college. Holes aren't free ventilation, gentlemen. Both games reward your wanton destruction for the most part, and although LA Machineguns does introduce some innocent bystanders to avoid, neither game places much emphasis on careful shooting, so you're weapons free, my friends. Speaking of weapons, I hope you really like machine guns, because that's pretty much all that you're going to get, unless you beat the game, which then allows for some alternatives. In both games, you have a primary weapon, and well, that's pretty much it. Just you, your trigger finger, and unlimited ammunition. No need to reload here. This simplicity isn't as much of a detractor as one would think, but it does prevent both games from reaching greater heights of fun, as there's really no strategy to apply or vastly different effects to experience. You follow a set path in both games with no route choice to speak of. The set routes are fun though, and have you traverse various and recognizable locations, such as Times Square, the Brooklyn Bridge, Alcatraz, and the Las Vegas Strip. The levels do sprawl quite a bit, so you don't get the feeling you're repeating much, which is a plus. The single pathways of both games will impact replayability down the line though. The basic enemies for New York Gunblade and LA Machineguns are mostly foot soldiers. There are a few vehicle battles here and there, but the variety of enemies really isn't all that great. The enemies do jump and attempt to dodge incoming fire, which prevents you from mowing them down without any effort. The action does come at you fast and furious though, so you probably aren't paying much attention to the types of enemies. All enemies are robotic in nature, so for those looking for a non-gory shooter for a younger audience, this definitely fits the bill. Gunblade NY has 3 boss fights, but you essentially battle the same mech boss thrice. The battles at least feel different because of a setting change and a change in the mech's attack strategy, but yeah, it's the same boss. LA Machineguns gives you some more boss variety as you face a different one on each of the 4 stages. These include an attack helicopter, an industrial-sized rocket-firing rig, tanks, and a red mech that very much looks like the mech from New York Gunblade. In addition, LA Machineguns tosses in an end-of-the-game battle against an airship. LA Machineguns definitely has superior boss battles, which are large on spectacle and feel appropriately climactic, as one would expect from any 90s arcade title. Another addition for LA Machineguns is that it adds a little challenge to the boss fights, with specific points that need to be hit and destroyed within a certain time period. This is easier said than done, considering you and your targets are never standing still, and infinite continues don't guarantee success. So that's a bonus bump for strategy and skill for LA Machineguns over Gunblade NY, which tends to focus on just how much you hit the boss. Neither of these games would be considered graphically impressive on today's scale, but both games have that typical 90s Sega arcade look, which always had an appeal. Colors are bright and the polygons large and in charge. The locations from both games are recognizable, so enough attention was paid to the level designs. Both games have you flying around and changing directions rapidly, and at the fast pace of the game, the surroundings show enough detail to keep things interesting and varied. Animations are done as well as necessary for a fast-paced game with plenty of stuff going boom, bullets impacting vehicles and buildings, and enemies falling down when shot before they try to get back up. The enemy movements and animations make the fighting feel dynamic. You don't have time for precise shots, so don't expect Virtua Cop level shot placement reactions here. For sound, the sound effects in the game from the guns and explosions are very dominant, and they sound on point. There is some background music to the game, and it's okay, but you're really going to struggle to appreciate it, as there really aren't any moments when the action lets up enough for you to take it in. With regard to story, it's paper thin. Terrorists, bad guys, whatever have you, they've staged an assault on civilian areas. Go get them. Neither game really tries to shoehorn in a heavy story here, and for this gameplay style, that's probably a positive. With regard to difficulty, the games would be a challenge to beat in the arcades, but at home, challenge is minimal as you have unlimited continues. You will die aplenty, as it's completely unavoidable with all the incoming fire, but you can just continue and you're back in the action. There are no in-game saves or level passwords, but you really don't need them as you can rock through both games in under an hour. Each game has different levels, and you're free to choose from them as you go. With regard to replayability, this game bundle is easily worth several playthroughs. And if you have kids, friends who like that old arcade experience, or want to toss it on at a party as an option of something to do, it will just get all the more play. With unlimited continues, no game-ending objectives, and the ability to have a partner help you out, Gunblade NY and LA Machineguns Arcade Hits Pack is a frustration-free experience. The toughest pill to swallow for this game package is if you are a physical collector. Finding copies is going to cost you probably more than you'd like, with loose versions running $75 and closed box copies running over $80. Overall, NY Gunblade and LA Machineguns really is a lot of fun, and it can be had in a very short time. The time flies by, especially with someone else by your side. These games really are meant to be played with somebody else. The game tallies up scores too, so you can always compete to add another layer of fun. The package does have its issues with artistic and gameplay simplicity, and there is no getting around that. But if you're nostalgic for that classic 90s arcade experience, NY Gunblade and LA Machineguns will leave you feeling very satisfied. It's highly recommended.